What if I told you that one of the most stylish football legends, David Beckham, has quietly redefined what a countryside garden can be? Not loud, not flashy, but intentional, warm, and quietly powerful. And today, you'll see how you can bring that very spirit into your own backyard, no matter where you live. Welcome to Archon Aesthetic Studio, where design meets soul, and every frame is made with meaning. In this video, we explore modern countryside garden design, inspired by the balance of simplicity and elegance that Beckham has brought into his own space. Whether you're here for homestead charm, raised beds, or that perfect blend of rustic and modern, you'll find it all here. And yes, we've included timestamps, so feel free to skip to the designs that speak to your heart. But first, tell me in the comments, which design do you love most? And where in the world are you watching from? Or maybe, you have a garden dream of your own. Share your ideas, and who knows, it might inspire my next build. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. One modern countryside garden. The sun leans gently on a quiet garden tucked behind a simple wooden home, where vegetables grow not for show, but for living. Raised beds stretch across the lawn like measured breaths, each one cradling green life in different forms. Carrots, leafy herbs, bright zinnias, and lavender spill over the edges, softening the structure with color and scent. You can almost hear the stillness, a rake leaning lazily on the soil, the silent resting of garden tools after a morning of light labor. It's a space not for rushing, but for returning. To yourself, to the earth. This is not just a garden. It is a rhythm, a way to stay grounded in a world that often feels like it's moving too fast. Here, there is no urgency, only slow rewards. A basket of fresh mint, a row of kale ready for dinner, and the simple joy of watching something grow. The design is unpretentious. Raised beds in symmetry, walkways of straw and gravel. A functional elegance that says, you, too, can do this. And indeed, you can. With just a little space, a little time, and a willingness to get your hands in the dirt. Inspired, in part, by those who found a second home in nature's quiet. This space reminds us that tending a garden can be more than a task. It can be a meditation. While this video offers ideas and glimpses into a lifestyle many of us crave, it's not meant to be a step-by-step tutorial. Think of it as a soft beginning, a visual guide for your own path. This collection is meant to spark your creativity, not instruct it. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and know that somewhere in the quiet of your own backyard, this story can become yours, too. Two, backyard living plot. Tucked behind a modest home, this garden isn't just well kept, it's lived in. The sunlight pools gently along the grass path, touching every folded chair and terracotta pot with the ease of late afternoon. Here, among rows of crisp greens and potted herbs, life unfolds slowly, intentionally. This is a space where meals begin not in the kitchen, but in the soil, where hands remember the feel of earth, and routine is shaped by growth, not schedules. Raised beds brim with lettuce, chard, and young shoots of corn, while along the fence line, tomatoes quietly climb toward the light. In one corner, basil leans toward the edge of its pot as if listening to the breeze. On the simple wooden table nearby, more herbs await, not perfectly arranged, but purposeful. They belong to someone who tends, not decorates. The chairs face the garden, not away from it. An unspoken invitation to pause, breathe, and be part of it all. It's not curated for perfection. It's crafted for peace. If you're looking at this and thinking, could I build something like this? The answer is yes. This isn't a set or a staged dream. It's a reflection of what's possible with a bit of space, some spare time, and a willingness to start small. We share these scenes not as step-by-step tutorials, but as windows into what could be. A visual collection of DIY inspiration, where every small element might become the seed of your own version. Let this be a reminder that a rich life doesn't always require more. Sometimes it simply asks for presence, a patch of soil, and a place to sit beside it. Three, raised and rooted. In a quiet corner of the world, a garden breathes in neat lines and wooden frames. Each raised bed is a small world of its own, filled with life, with rhythm, with a story whispered between sun and soil. Greens rise confidently from the dark earth. Spinach, kale, carrots, growing with intention, but without haste. The soil still holds the memory of this morning's watering, and a humble bucket rests nearby, still damp at its edges. There's no need for perfection here, only presence. This kind of garden isn't born from grand plans. It's made in moments, a weekend afternoon, a quiet evening, a decision to dig, to sow, to care. There's beauty in the order. Raised beds offer structure without control, guiding your plants while giving them space. They keep the soil rich, protect roots, and allow even small backyards to yield something generous. What you see here is not a how-to. It's a window into possibility, a gentle collection of visual ideas you can build on, reshape, or reinterpret. This video doesn't walk you through every detail, but invites your creativity to begin somewhere. A garden like this offers more than food. It offers stillness. A reminder that something as simple as a wooden frame and good soil can bring nourishment, not just to your plate, but to your day. So whether you start with 1 box or 10, 1 seed or none yet at all, let this scene remind you that the roots don't have to run deep for something meaningful to grow. Rustic Harvest Corner. A wooden bench rests beside a humble garden bed, quiet and unbothered, as though it's been there for years, holding not just tools or rest, but the rhythm of slow, thoughtful living. On it, a woven basket overflows with the colors of the morning's work. Crisp kale, young carrots still dusted with soil, spring onions with long green stems brushing against each other in the breeze. Leaning above it, a straw hat catches the light, the kind worn not for style, but for shade, comfort, and ritual. This moment isn't staged. It's caught, in the stillness that often follows a small harvest. That peaceful pause where the work is done, the garden has given, and the only thing left is to appreciate. Growing your own food doesn't require a field. Just a corner like this, a raised bed, a place to sit, and a willingness to listen to the seasons. Carrots don't rush, and neither should we. This garden corner, simple and honest, speaks more than design or instruction ever could. It's about returning to something elemental. Hands in the soil, a basket on your lap, the scent of onion greens in the warm air. These images are here to inspire, to gently spark your own ideas. Not a tutorial, but a quiet starting point. Maybe next season, your own rustic harvest corner will come to life. One plant at a time, one basket at a time. And maybe, like here, you'll leave your hat behind, knowing you'll be back tomorrow. Five, the herb and hive garden. When the light leans soft and golden, even the hum of bees feels like music. Here, in this quiet herb garden, everything finds its rhythm. Basil, thyme, mint, and rosemary grow in well-loved raised beds, their leaves catching the late-day sun like tiny green sails. The bees dance above them, never hurried, always purposeful, drawn to a small wooden hive that stands humbly among the beds, part of the garden, not separate from it. It's a scene that feels both tended and free, structured without being strict, simple, yet full of life. The watering can rests nearby, as if it was just set down minutes ago. And maybe it was. Perhaps someone stood here not long ago, letting water fall in a gentle stream, pausing to watch the bees before stepping away. You can almost feel their presence in the stillness they left behind. This kind of space doesn't ask for perfection. It invites participation. A garden like this doesn't begin with expertise, but with intention. You don't need acres, just a few raised beds, some aromatic herbs, and the willingness to coexist with the tiniest workers of the garden world. While this isn't a step-by-step tutorial, it is a collection of simple, visual invitations. A reminder that even the smallest backyard, with the right light and care, can become a sanctuary for plants, for bees, and for you. Let it be your starting point. An idea that grows quietly in your mind, like basil in morning sun. Six, Little Orchard Lane. Some gardens grow in rows, others in rhythm. And then, there are those like this, quiet orchards at the edge of a home, where the trees speak in their own time and fruit falls without announcement. Here, apples have found the earth again, resting beneath the branches they once clung to. Not wasted, just waiting. A wheelbarrow sits nearby, already half full of today's harvest. It leans slightly, as if paused mid-task, evidence of someone who stepped away for a moment, maybe to bring a basket or simply to enjoy the breeze. The grass is soft and slightly overgrown, untouched in a way that feels more intentional than neglected. This is not the orchard of grand estates or curated spaces. It's something better, the everyday kind. A garden that asks only for your attention, not perfection. The trees don't demand much. Just time, a bit of patience, maybe a morning walk with a cup of tea and an open heart. And in return, they offer what they can. Fruit in season, shade in summer, and a reason to slow down. Let this image be more than a scene. Let it be an idea, a seed of your own. These aren't tutorials, but shared glimpses. Simple DIY inspiration to begin shaping a life outdoors, where even 2 trees can become a place of abundance. You don't need a plan. Just a tree, a wheelbarrow, and a little trust in the passing seasons. Seven, the Coop and Bloom spot. There's something oddly harmonious about chickens and flowers living side by side. In this modest garden corner, they do just that. Moving quietly among the marigolds and cosmos, between water cans and flower beds, beneath a sky that holds no urgency. The coop stands proud but unpretentious, built more for shelter than for show. And yet, it fits, perfectly, in this patch of color and care. The hens roam without a fuss, pecking near the zinnias, occasionally pausing under the leafy stems of dahlias that sway gently with the breeze. Around them, signs of daily life, buckets with smudges of soil, watering cans leaning where they were last used, and blossoms in every direction. Some blooming, others nearly fading, all part of the same honest cycle. This garden isn't ornamental. It's alive. It produces food, it hosts creatures, and it welcomes the quiet rituals of the one who tends to it. What you see here isn't a blueprint. It's an invitation, a visual reminder that beauty and function don't have to live separately. Chickens and flowers, tools and petals, practicality and poetry, all of it can grow from the same soil. This video is part of a simple collection of DIY garden ideas, shared not as instruction manuals, but as soft encouragement, as possibilities. You're free to interpret what you see, to reshape it into your own version of balance and bloom. After all, gardens like these aren't made overnight. They're lived into, morning after morning, with muddy boots and a heart that finds joy in the ordinary. Eight, soil and serenity. There is a kind of silence that only a garden knows, not empty, but full. The sound of breath and soil, of hands pressing gently into the earth. In this small corner, a stool and a mug speak more than any words could. A trowel rests half buried in rich, dark soil, still warm from the sun. Tiny seedlings, brave and delicate, begin their stretch toward the sky. Kale, perhaps, or collards. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the act of planting, of choosing to begin. This isn't the kind of gardening that rushes toward results. It's slower, more personal. The kind that starts before sunrise and pauses mid-afternoon for tea. The kind that leaves dirt under your fingernails and a sense of peace in your chest. The space is quiet, but not still. Each element, the mug, the tool, the open patch of soil, tells you someone has been here. Not to pose or perform, but to tend, to participate in something steady and real. Let this image be a soft invitation. These are not steps to follow, but feelings to hold. This video shares glimpses, not guidelines, just inspiring bits of real, handmade life that you might make your own. The kind of creativity that comes not from rules, but from presence. And in that presence, in the simplicity of a stool and a seedling, Serenity grows. Nine, the edible haven. There's something profoundly grounding about a garden that feeds you. Here, amidst the morning dew or early evening hush, the hands don't just plant, they gather. Not in haste, but with intention. Herbs are clipped with care. A tomato is tested with a gentle press. Lettuce is gathered leaf by leaf, placed into a waiting basket like a gift returning to the kitchen. This is an edible haven, not defined by size, but by spirit. A place where the line between growing and cooking, between gardening and living, quietly disappears. You'll find no separation here. A cutting board rests between beds of parsley and cucumber, already holding signs of dinner to come. A small table hosts a bowl of greens, a knife, and nothing else. It doesn't need more. The meal begins right there, where the soil ends and the harvest begins. This kind of garden doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence, for a rhythm of care that becomes second nature, a habit not driven by trend, but by the joy of growing what you eat. And while this video doesn't serve as a detailed tutorial, it is a soft invitation to notice, to create, to take what inspires you and make it your own, in whatever space or season you find yourself in. A collection of ideas for those who believe beauty is best when it's also useful. Because sometimes, happiness is as simple as a handful of basil, a sharp knife, and a table close to where it all grows. Ten, backyard homestead chic. A garden like this doesn't shout. It simply works, quietly, intentionally, and with a rhythm all its own. This is the charm of the backyard homestead. Not large, but layered. Not fancy, but full. Raised beds line the walkways with edible greens and herbs. A modest coop rests beneath the shade of fruiting branches, while a compost tumbler turns slow magic in a corner of its own. Clay pots are stacked like waiting promises. Tools hang not as decoration, but because they're used, and will be used again tomorrow. You see jars of saved seeds. A crate filled with ripe vegetables. A hat tossed casually on the bench after a morning of tending. It's a space built with intention, but lived in with ease. Nothing is out of place, because every piece has purpose. There's a clothesline nearby. A shelf filled with practical things. And if you listen closely, you might imagine the sound of chickens scratching, of shears clipping fresh basil, of someone humming as they rinse their hands in a tin basin. This is what it means to live simply, but not sparsely. To craft a life that blends the useful with the beautiful, where your meals begin not in the kitchen, but out here under the sun. What you see in this video isn't a tutorial. It's a curated collection of lived-in details, of quiet ideas for a slower, more grounded way of living, shared not as instruction, but as inspiration for your own creative journey. So if this feels familiar, or like something you long to build, even in a small space, trust that you can. A few pots, a coop, a handful of seeds. That's more than enough to begin. Because in a garden like this, usefulness is beauty, and beauty is never wasted. If this video meant something to you, please know that subscribing means the world to me. You're not just supporting content, you're supporting a dream that keeps my family going. Thank you, truly. I'd also love to hear from you. What did you enjoy the most? Is there anything I could do better to keep inspiring or simply entertaining you? Your feedback helps this channel grow with heart and purpose. Let me know in the comments. I read every one.